Okay guys, so here's my latest video. So I'm going to just ask you again as normal. I'd ask everyone just to subscribe, like, share, leave comments. I really appreciate anyone that takes the time to watch some of my videos, or anyone that leaves a comment, anyone that subscribes. I really appreciate the subscriptions. So just keep it going. Thanks a lot for that. So this week's video, what it's going to be on is I'm going to scrap out a internet radio CD player to see what gold recovery materials I have inside of it. So as per usual, I'm going to remove all the screws from it and remove the casing. So we'll come back when I've done all that. So I'm going to get straight into this video and we're going to just remove all the screws from it, and we'll get into the casing and we'll see is there any materials that can be used in my gold recovery that I can tell, such as IC chips or MLCCs or any gold flashing, anything like that. So we'll just pause the video, we'll come back once I've removed all the screws. Okay, so I've removed all the screws that I could see from the body of this. So we'll have a look now and see if we can take this apart from the rest of itself, the frame. So this is the awkward bit as usual, to try and find where it will come apart. So we'll just have a look here and see if there's a clip or something somewhere to release it. So there we go. We just have a frame plastic casing with some soundproofing or foam of some sort. And then we have, inside this we have a nice big chunk of aluminium. So we'll just remove that. It's covering some sort of, either it's a case, so I'm presuming there's a lot of heat generated on this. So they had to put the aluminium sink on it to disperse the heat quicker from the board. So hopefully there's a good little chip on it of some sort. So we have some more screws in here that need to be removed. So what I'm going to do, actually, I might just pause this again while I remove these screws, and we'll come back when we have these ones removed. Okay, so we've removed the screws now, so I'll just try and take this frame away from the rest of it. So we've actually more screws here, the never-ending screws as usual. Okay, so we can see this one had a docking station as well for an iPad or an iPhone. So we've moved them screws. We'll try and get a bit more access into it. Okay, so we can see that this heatsink is still held on by some more screws here. These screws don't want to come out too easy, but we'll hopefully be able to get them out now. It's one out and the other one. So this is typical of when you're scrapping, that you come across a lot of screws that are awkward in awkward spots, don't want to come out. It's just one of them things. Okay, so we have our little chunk of aluminium, which is a nice little chunk of aluminium. Got 2 little screws there. That's a nice little fine little chunk of aluminium to add to the collection of aluminium. And then we have more screws. Okay, that screw has been removed, and I can see some more screws up inside of here, so I'm just going to pause it again and get these screws out. There's a lot of screws on this. I've never come across one that done these before, so there is a lot of screws on it, so I'm just going to pause it there and remove whatever screws I can see now. Okay, so hopefully now that's the bulk of the screws taken out, and we can get down into this and see what we have. So first off, we have a bit of a ribbon wire here holding that in. So unfortunately that doesn't have any gold on it. And we have another ribbon wire here somewhere. So again, okay, so that's just a little DV or CD player. So again, I've taken these apart loads of times already, so there's a video up there for it, so just have a look and you'll see it in my playlist, or hopefully I'll have put a link there in the corner to it now. Okay, so it's the board is the main thing I want to try and get a look at. So we want to see what is holding that board in now. So we've some cables here at the side, we'll just remove them, and the same this side. Anywhere I can see cables, I'll remove it. That ribbon can come out, and we'll just have a quick look at that ribbon. So again, there's no gold on that ribbon, so it's not worth anything to me. So we have one other screw here. These screws just keep on appearing. Okay, so we have 2 more screws down in here that are holding it, so we'll just try and get them out next. And hopefully this should be the last of them. There we go. So that has released the board. We'll just remove any clips I can see. And we get a look at this board and see if there's anything value. I can see some gold flashing straight away. So we'll just remove these 2 wires here. Okay, so another ribbon with nothing on it, and we get a look at the board. So straight off I see a few IC chips which I can take off, which can be used for gold recovery. I have some crystal oscillators, 1, 2, 3 on this board, this side. A lot of copper, so we have little spools of copper here. So you can see here we have little spools of copper wire. so that could be taken off and added to my copper collection, so that's not too bad. A little bit of copper all adds up. Another bit there, another bit there. We can see some gold flashing, so you can see the gold flashing along this board here. So that's the main on this side. We'll have a look on the far side. So again, we have some IC chips, so you can see them along here. A little bit of aluminium, and just wondering, is there anything under that? I don't see anything under that, but we'll try and remove it if we can. So no, nothing underneath that, so it's a bit, just a little heat sink. We have a large, seems to be like a MOSFET, so again that will usually contain some copper. That's it, so not a great board overall. Just a few IC chips, a few crystal oscillators, a little bit of gold flashing. So you can see it down here as well. There's a little bit of gold flashing along these little joints here, or little solder bits. And on the other side, we seem to have, no, it's not gold. I thought for a minute it was gold, but it ain't. So we've our IC chips. We don't seem to have any MLCCs. So that's it on that board, nothing major. So we have one more board left in here that we need to try and get to. So we just try and open it out a bit so we can see. So it's actually two boards left in here. So again, we have some screws that I need to remove. So we'll just pause there again and come back once the screws are done. Okay, so at last we've got hopefully all the screws out. There was some pile of screws in there for probably nothing when I take it out, but we'll have a look. We've got some cables connected. Okay, so just on this, we're just going to have some switches which will probably contain a bit of silver, hopefully. So we might need to get the snips to get them off, but break it off doesn't matter. So you can see these are little switches which usually will contain some silver inside of them, so I do just pull them switches off and put them into it for silver recovery. And we'll just get this off. Okay, so again we just have a little USB connector which will have a little bit of gold inside of there, and again just some switches, so nothing major there on that. And there was one more switch that fell off, so I can see some gold pins on it, so there's some actual gold connecting pins there, so that will be worth breaking down a bit further to remove the gold pins. And that is it on that. So again, it's just a connection here. If I can remove it, no, remove it aside, don't need to worry about it. And again, we have one more board which again has two more screws holding it here, so we'll just remove these screws quickly. So I think this is about the millionth screw that I've taken out of this device. I've never seen so many screws in such a small item. So this is the LCD display that would have been on the front there. So just, as you can see, it's just an LCD display. Underneath it, just some perspex with the connections under there. So I'll try and see if there's anything worth underneath that in a second. Large IC chip. And that is it on there. There's nothing else worth taking off. There's a little bit of gold flashing up here, you can just about see it, and that's it. We'll just see if there's anything underneath this, if I can get this to come off. So you can see there's a bit of glass coming out of there, so I don't want to try and cut myself. Try and break that off first by just wiggling it a bit so I can take it away. So that's just the LCD display. You can see the little way it cracked, and we'll try and get down underneath this and see if there's anything of value under it, but I doubt there is. So that's just a bit of perspex of some sort that fell out of it. And all there is plastic, and then there's two connections at either end, but it doesn't want to come away too easy, but we'll just snap it that way so we can get a look at it. So again, underneath there, nothing of value whatsoever. I thought there might be some gold connections of some sort, but there isn't. So looking at this, there's not going to be too much of value out of this internet radio. I've got a bit of copper, got some IC chips, nice chunk of aluminium. We've got some switches which should contain some silver, a few crystal oscillators, and that is kind of it from it. So it wasn't a great scrap out. Just a few IC chips to add to my collection, a few small amount of gold pins, very small amount of gold pins on it, some copper, and a big chunk of aluminium. So that's it for this video. Thanks for watching again, guys. As usual, I really appreciate your taking your time to watch the videos. Really appreciate the comments from everyone that's there and watching my channel. And we'll hopefully before long we'll start moving on to this gold. I'm just waiting for some acid to arrive that I've ordered. So once the acids come, I should be able to start doing some gold drops or a bit more gold refining rather than micro scrapping out devices for the material. I hopefully do a few videos where you'll get to see some actual gold refining and gold recovery from the materials. So I'll probably start off with the gold fingers, maybe CPU chips, gold pins, and eventually move on to the IC chips, which take a bit more work because you need to incinerate them and that sort of stuff. So hopefully I'll be doing a few videos on that. So thanks for watching, guys. I really appreciate it, and keep on looking for that gold. Okay, guys, so my video isn't actually over at that spot, because just when I was clearing up the stuff after I'd done the video, I've spotted some gold. Well, what looks like gold in underneath here. So we're going to remove these few screws and see what's under it. So it might be a little surprise afterwards. I was just spotting it there as I was tidying up, getting rid of the stuff after the video, and so hopefully there might be a little bit of gold connectors of some sort, so it makes it even a little bit even better. And I also see some more screws here, so we're going to just remove all the screws and see what we have. So we have to pop that off. So this is the actual connector that connects to your iPhone or iPod or whatever device you're using from Apple to stream the music through this. This was a docking station, as well as a internet radio, as well as a, well, that wasn't actually an internet, it was just a docking station. Actually, it wasn't an internet radio, it was just a docking station. So we just have a board under here, if I can slide it out, which seems to have remove that cover. So it's a board with gold fingers on it. So you can see there the gold little fingers, so I'll trim the little fingers off. It's only on one side, unfortunately. It's not two sides, so it's not as good as I thought it was. A little bit of gold flash in here as well. And we have one more underneath these switches here. We have some screws, so maybe there might be something worth taking off here as well. And then again, it might not be, but we'll know in a second. So, again, we have them, and we'll just remove the switches. Flick out the buttons if we can. Let's see if there's anything under it. And there wasn't. So, unfortunately, that's a burst. But everything else we found, as I said, that's a little bit extra. I was hoping it was going to be something more, but it wasn't. So a little bit of gold fingers, and to add to the rest of the stuff that I've already got there. So thanks for watching again, guys. Till the next one.